sustainable markets for clean cooking, for solar energy, and also for energy access in refugee and host community areas. On the clean cooking side, we've been working in the improved cook stove space for over 10 years and have really also shaped and transitioned and adapted our different approaches, starting all the way back from 2014, 2013, where we were working with rural artisans and supporting them to produce energy efficient stoves and train them. But more recently, transitioning to also working with semi-industrial cook stove manufacturers that are producing high quality and efficient cook stoves. And then as also the global strategic objectives are changing on how can we make our cleaning stacks more efficient and cleaner. We are also looking into piloting higher tier cooking solutions such as electric cooking and biodigesters as well, and really looking into how can we upscale these nascent markets. So in the cooking space, that's sort of the journey that we've walked with some of these companies, a lot of whom I see here in the room today. So to your first question on how we've supported the clean cooking space, I'll maybe tackle it from the 3 areas of supply, demand, and enabling environment. For the supply side, we've worked with a lot of these companies to increase and improve their sales and distribution infrastructure. What does that mean? How can we decentralize this so that they are no longer concentrated in Kampala, but can have either production centers up country, they can set up vending distribution partnerships across the regions so that they get these products closer to the end users. So through that, we've done results-based financing, as my colleague Francis from PSFU mentioned, but we've also looked into ensuring these businesses that we work with have good operating procedures, can be formalized so that they are able to upscale. So we've been offering also business development support to build that resilience, improve their operational structures, enable them to source additional funding and reach out to more users. I think we'll also get into a little bit later on some of the refugee and host community interventions that we've done in clean cooking, ensuring that also for them they are not left behind in this energy access race. So I can share about that more also following my colleagues. I'll start with that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. That is great, at least supporting companies on the distribution network. We all know that reaching, especially the last mile, these people who even need these technologies more, it is a big challenge, and a big challenge for companies to be able to imagine transporting a cook stove of maybe 20,000 shillings or 50 or 100, but you're taking it deep down in Buhweju, you're taking it deep down in Kisoro, you have to take it in Sironko, you have to take it as far as the islands. It is a bit of a challenge, and it is important that companies are supported. I'll go to Miriam Chisamba from the Uganda Development Corporation. I've seen you've been doing a lot of projects under Uganda Development Corporation, but we also want to know how can UDC support the adoption of clean cooking in Uganda as a government agency, and also what sort of financing is required for scaling different clean cooking technologies, e.g. bioethanol or e-cooking.
Thank you. For Uganda Development Corporation, it's best one understands what we do first. We are the investment arm of government, meaning we go into strategic areas or sectors, and that's by strategic, I mean we have certain fundamental principles we consider to invest. First, we look at job creation. Job creation is very key as we appraise our projects which we receive. We look at utilization of local raw materials. We look at promotion of trade balance, that is import substitution and export promotion. We also like to look at regional balance, like we ensure our projects are not concentrated in one region. And lastly, we look at local entrepreneurship. We do encourage local entrepreneurs, though we do not only invest with them. It depends on the other aspects of the project that we're getting into. So basically, those are the principles we follow. And in the sectors, we are in agro-industrialization, mineral beneficiation, and we're also in services and infrastructure development. So in line with clean cooking, we really find clean cooking a strategic area for support because it is in line with our agro-industrialization agenda. As we know, clean cooking, especially for biofuels, goes a long way with the biomass, utilization of our biomass. And therefore, for job creation, it's already strategic because our farmers out there have to grow these whatever biomass we've selected, be it cassava or maize. They have to grow it either at large scale. If it's not at large scale, at least we have numbers. Many farmers have to grow these and have collecting centers, and therefore there is income because our mandate is to ensure economic and industrial development of the country. So the more numbers that are involved in a project like this, the better for us because we are reaching out and deep to the household incomes, increasing household incomes. If our farmers can grow this cassava, the maize, and it's off taken by these companies. So that we find clean cooking, especially in biofuel, is very strategic. And in fact, we have invested with Bukona Agro-Processors Limited. We have equity ownership there. And Bukona, I think many of you have seen. I think they have displayed what they do. They are producing this green fuel, which has been strategic in the area of export promotion because over 95% of the ethanol has been exported to Vivo in Kenya, and of late have acquired a market with Unido in Tanzania. So we find such a very strategic for investment for our country, and therefore we can't also leave out the fact that clean cooking, you need a healthy population, definitely. And if it even goes into the area of health, and it's also saving time, it's convenient, and it's also sustainable. Environmental sustainability is key when you're going into such projects and you're investing on behalf of government. Therefore, environmental sustainability is also another key area. And therefore, clean cooking, I could say, is an area which the government is very much interested in supporting. If I could speak to the area of adoption of clean cooking. Clean cooking is also, like other discussants in the sessions before and even now have shared, it's an area which is still needs a lot of awareness for the population to pick it up. They still, much as you say a pressure cooker, an electric pressure, an EPCs will cost this amount of units, it will be cheaper than charcoal. I had an argument like that before lunch where someone was like, no, I use this and that. You have to have many ambassadors, many people have used it to down there in the community to reach out to let others pick on because they will have to first tell their story on how much they have saved, or how it has been convenient. It has helped them save time maybe for other errands they're supposed to run, and maybe take it all the way to women communities and who are women groups, led groups that, because women are mainly most affected with this cooking, because it really takes time. So there, such people will be able to pass on that message. So that's the challenge we've faced so far. If you, at least with the private sector that we have invested with so far, is that of the market adoption. Indeed, there's a lot of awareness that is required even from our leaders, because if it involves the green fuel, for example, which involves the farmers who have to grow now this raw material, we need also the leadership. We need there's a lot of mobilization. One institution cannot work alone. One government institution cannot be enough. We need the private sector, the NGOs. We need a lot of players to be able to mobilize the people to know that these crops will be off-taken, and in what kind, and also to know that this is an economic, this is for the development of their areas, if they are to grow this, and the company off-takes, to see this as something which has come to help them on both sides, for them to be able to use a convenient kind of cooking, and also at the same time off-take from them their crops, whatever they have grown. So we face the challenge of that you may find at some season when the raw material is not sufficient, and therefore this affects also the cost of production if you are buying the raw material in these fluctuating prices, and then you may not be able to compete. Actually, we lost a market some time back of Vivo in Kenya, where Brazil brought in cheaper fuel because we could not, compete with their price by a few cents, but because our raw material was not being the mobilization of the growing, our raw material was not being supported very well by everyone who is supposed to be involved. So there is a lot of support that's needed, and therefore this trickles down to the person who's supposed to adopt this energy as their source of energy. Because if they come today and the crate of fuel, a liter of fuel is 5,000, then another time it's 5,500 because the season has changed, then it affects, and therefore we need to do a lot of mobilization to ensure that stability of the raw material, with all the government MDAs and NGOs that are in line with that, to ensure that this the price remains stable, and also therefore the population will be able to adopt. And also we have the issue of subsidies, like someone will share here from PSFU, maybe G's, and all those that have offered subsidies. And even Bukona, our investee company, has been one of the beneficiaries. It helps because the high capital investment involved in someone acquiring these stoves, the cooking stove, the whole combo, because they sell it in combo. They have the stove, the fuel, and that starter pack. It's quite expensive. So the subsidies go a long way in supporting this initiative. But also at the same time, it comes with some challenges of the fact that subsidies, the companies or institutions that are going to offer the subsidies they may not discuss, so they may come in at different times with different packages, and once these packages are rolled out there, you may find someone saying, I bought my stove at maybe this price, and another saying, no, they're cheating you, it's supposed to be at this price. Then because the two parties are bought from different subsidies, so it also distorts the market a bit because the pricing is affected. But otherwise, at the same time, we welcome the subsidies because they help at least roll out to a number of people. And also, I think for the sustainability would be the carbon, buying the carbon credits, which we shall talk about later, maybe. But thank you very much for this.
Thank you so much, Miriam. I also see that you're pointing to an issue of partnerships. that if one person is trying to implement something, they will need support. They will need to work with another organization, either a community organization or a development partner or government, to be able to effectively implement some of these projects. And that brings me to Mr. Kajura Francis from PSFU on this program which you are working on, where you're supposed to reach 23,000 households with solar PV technologies, but 185,000 households with improved cook stoves. That is our main focus today, and 5,000 households with higher tier cookstop technologies. And of course, you're focusing on these districts that are quite far, and the refugee communities in Germany, Bidibidi, Kiriandongo, Robure, Parabek, Palolinya, Rhino Camp, and the others in other host communities in the Amuru, Marachane, Binoya, Moyo, Pakwach, Zombo. Please also give us your insights on the side of PSFU. What are you doing to support clean cooking adoption? And also, how can RBF programs be designed to support those with limited working capital? We know that most of our local companies have challenges of working capital. And even when we have RBFs, someone needs the capital to be able to start on these sales. I've been a salesperson before. I've owned a solar company, but I also speak to a number of renewable energy companies. These are some of the challenges that people face. And so it is important that we have to design our RBFs in a way that supports our people and also the other companies. Please give us your insights in the perspective of PSFU. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Loy. And for those good questions, I think I will start from talking about who we are as PSFU. PSFU is an umbrella body that brings together the private sector in Uganda. So the clean cooking is a sector which is represented under PSFU under our energy, oil and gas sector. We exist for a number of reasons, of which one is to represent the government voice, the private sector voice to government. So we speak to government on behalf of the private sector, basically to ensure that there is an enabling policy or the enabling policies for the private sector. Likewise, we work with a number of development partners to implement projects that are aimed at steering the private sector to address key issues that are affecting the private sector. So in regard to what has PSFU done to support clean cooking, I'll start with the project you talked about, the demand side RBF project, which we are implementing in partnership with NFGIZ. And this is also one of the ways how we supporting access to finance through of clean cooking and of course other technologies. This project was introduced to see how do we support the people, especially the people who are in these hard to reach areas or whom we call the last mile. How do we support them to be able to access these clean cooking products, of course with other technologies? So that's the rationale behind this project. And basically, we are targeting refugee and host communities in northern Uganda. You listed some of them. And we are working with private sector companies. So the approach is to work with private sector companies who are able to go and sell. Of course, also, this is helping them to accumulate, create that mass, because there is affordability. So we work with private sector companies who now extend a subsidy or to the end user. So basically, like for cooking, we are discounting these products at about 50% for the improved cook stoves, and maybe up to 67% for the high tier cooking products. So, but basically with the objective of enabling end user affordability. But in also the other way, it helps to unlock the private sector to be able to access these areas that are hard to reach. So I wanted to also talk about other ways. That is also one of the ways, and we've been implementing a number of RBFs with different development partners. We've also done one with the World Bank under the Uganda Clean Cooking project, Scale-up project, the UCSEP. But I also wanted to talk about other financing lines which PSF is implementing. One of them is the GROW project, which I think most of us know about. This is a project that is supporting access to finance for women entrepreneurs. And the clean cooking sector is one of the supported sectors under this project. So this project is providing, through our commercial banks, is providing low interest loans to women-led enterprises. And the clean cooking sector is not left behind. So I would like to call upon the women entrepreneurs under clean cooking to reach out to the banks we are working with, Centenary, Equity Bank, Stanbic, Post Bank, Finance Trust Bank, and access this money to promote your businesses. That is also another financing line, which is not, of course, restricted to clean cooking, but which our women that are into clean cooking can benefit from. So I wanted also to talk about, of course, through our other initiatives, we've been able to work as well with the financial institutions through one of the other projects we're implementing with the SNV and CEDA, the inclusive markets for energy efficiency. Most of us know about this product. And with this product, we were able to map out and engage financial institutions as well to develop financial products that are friendly, that are customized for support renewable energy. But specifically with clean cooking, I would give examples. We've so far engaged 11 banks. If you walk there right now, you'd be able to, as someone from clean cooking, be able to access some of these products. I'll talk about Equity Bank with Eco-loans, and this is through the efforts that we've had through engagements, and these products are available. Equity Bank is one of them with Eco-loans, Centenary Bank. I'm not here to make what for them, but please reach out, and all these products are available. So this is the role that as PSF you've been playing, but I also wanted to talk about our policy advocacy arm, because we all first know that have to admit that as we promote the clean cooking sector, we need enabling policies. We need government support. We need policies that can support this sector where our players are able to operate with recognized standards, with issues around taxes addressed. So this is also has been one of the areas as PSFU, and I said in the beginning that our key role is to present or speak to government on behalf of the private sector. So we've had a number of engagements with governments on key issues. For example, specific to the clean cooking sector, we've been engaging the government on on regulations for LPG, basically to ensure that we reduce the informality on who does the refilling. So that's one of the areas. But among other areas, we've engaged government on taxes, on tax incentives for our products, the renewable solar, the batteries, others. So this is also one area as PSFU where we come in very handy to support adoption of clean cooking, but also other renewable energy technologies. I would like now to cross to the second question. The two questions came at once, but it's okay. I'll still talk about what programs, how do we think from the private sector side, what do we think needs to be done when designing these RBF programs? What needs to be put into consideration, or what needs to be integrated? We've seen a number of private sector, RBFs coming up and of course doing very good work, but these are some of the areas we think, and to be able to address the issues that affect the private sector, we think can be added or can be blended in. One of them, I think, is we all have to agree that most of our companies struggle in terms of capacities. In terms of capacity of their staff, in terms of their management structures, in terms of agents, capacity of the agents. We've been operating the RBFs where you find that even data correction is an issue. So you find that the company has gone ahead, made sales, but they are not able to capture enough data. So if you're not able to capture enough data under RBF, it's a data game. If you don't record your sales, then it's very hard for you to claim them. So these are areas where somehow, as we design RBFs, we can blend in this kind of support. Capacity building. How do we support the agents? How do we train the agents? How do we support these organizations around the governance? How do we support them to have strong governance systems, to have strong financial systems, to have strong data reporting systems? So that is also one of which I think needs to be incorporated when we are designing these RBFs. The other one, of course, is the issue of infrastructure. Most of these RBFs need to think about, of course, how do we also support infrastructure. We've seen many companies struggling, especially in the hard-to-reach areas. It is a bit costly for the companies to match us with the incentive, either on the demand side or on the supply side. How do they establish presence in these areas? So if the support can come with some kind of supporting establishment of distribution centers, these outlets where they can be easily reached, because there is no way you will be able to operate in an area when you don't have presence there. So we think also that is one of the areas which can be supported. NDF is already operating some energy kiosks, and kudos to them. So such infrastructure is very important when designing RBFs, so that we are able to ease entry of these companies into these markets, but also they're able to establish their